Hello and welcome to English Grammar, Chapter 17, Participles. Participles are words that show the characteristics of both verbs and adjectives depending on their usage. The man confirmed that he had seen a flying saucer. After the accident, she had a broken arm. Now here you can see that verb has got ing, and in the second sentence it is in past participle form. So the verbs which has got ing, past tense form or past participle form, and they act as an adjective, that is a describing word, then we call it as participles. Is it clear, children? It is actually a verb which has got ing, past tense form or past participle form, but they act as an adjective, that is the describing words. So we call them as participles. The words flying and broken show actions, and they are derived from the verbs fly and break. So they can be considered as verbs. However, in the sentences above, flying and broken also modify the nouns saucer and arm like adjectives. These words are therefore participles. There are two types of participles in English. One is present participle and past participle based on their usage. When participles are used as adjectives, they are called as participial adjectives. Okay, so when the participles are describing something, we call it as participial adjectives. Present participle. The present participle always ends with ing. The present participle has the form verb plus ing. Stand, standing, help, helping. For example, Karan is walking to school. We were walking towards the bus stop. Now these are the examples of present participle. We use the present participle to form continuous tense. Children, you all know that whenever ing is used, it is actually an action going on. So continuous. So whenever we talk about continuous tense, then it is always ing. To show that an action is in progress. The phrases is walking, were walking, and had been walking are verb phrases. When she saw the smiling faces, the teacher knew that the children had done well. Be careful not to confuse the present participle with gerund. You know, gerund also has got ing at the end. But gerund acts as a noun and participle acts as an adjective. Both the present participle and the gerund are the ing form of verb. But the present participle does the work of an adjective. Okay, as I said, like I like swimming. Now swimming is an activity. Here it is used as a noun. So this ing is gerund. Swimming is my hobby. Here swimming is the object of the verb like in the first sentence. Therefore it acts as a noun. In the second sentence it is the subject of the verb and once again acts as a noun. And so therefore it is gerund. Have you seen a swimming cat? Now here it is describing the cat. So swimming here it is participle. Okay children, is it clear now? When ing is there, it can also be a gerund. But gerund is mostly a noun. Whereas participle is an adjective. Exercise 1. State whether the ing form is each of the following sentence is a participle in the role of an adjective or gerund or part of a finite verb phrase. The children were racing to school because they were late. Now racing, ing, you have to identify ing or ed ones. Now here in the question it's all ing ones only. So this racing is a part of a finite verb phrase. The barking dogs chase the thief. ing one is barking and it is an adjective. Barking dogs. Dancing bear shows a band here. So where is ing? Dancing. and it is an adjective describing the noun bear. Karan likes cycling. Now here ing, it is same like swimming, so here it is gerund. Reading is a useful habit. Again, reading is gerund. We are making a puppet. Now here it is a part of a finite verb phrase. There is a growing need to improve literacy. Ing is growing and it is an adjective. Entering this area is prohibited. ing1 and it's a gerund. Now past participle. The past participle of verbs do not always have the same ending. In all regular verbs, the past participle ends with ed. In irregular verbs, it can be en, d, t, n, ne. The past participle is used to form the perfect tenses for finite verbs. The guests have arrived. To make passive voice. This song has been sung by my friend. Used as adjectives and are participial adjectives. The tattered piece of paper was part of an old man. Perfect participle. We use the perfect participle to emphasize that an action is completed before another starts. We form the perfect participle by putting the present participle having before a past participle. For example, having finished the assignment, the workers left. State the function of the past participle in each of the following sentences. Participial adjective, part of a perfect participle or part of a finite verb phrase. The children will have slept by the time we reach home. Part of a finite verb phrase. Everybody was invited to the reception. Part of a finite verb phrase. The wash sheets were hung out to dry. Now washed, here we have two. Okay, one is washed, another one is hung. Washed is participial adjective and hung is part of a finite verb phrase. The chief guest has arrived. Arrived, part of a finite verb phrase. Having improved his grade, Gaurav felt more confident. Now improved is part of a perfect participle. The poor man wore torn clothes and tattered shoes. Torn and tattered both are describing the words clothes and shoes, so it is participial adjective. Preeti looked at the burnt toast and burst into tears. Again, burnt is describing the toast, so it is participial adjective. Having written the letter, Priya decided not to post. Now written here is part of a perfect participle. Everybody rushed out to play in the fallen snow. Fallen is participle adjective. Even you can write it as participial adjective. The mountains looked as pretty as a painted picture. Here it is participial adjective. Now uses of participle. The participle does the work of an adjective known as participial adjective. Like a typical adjective, the participle can usually be modified by adverbs. Like her behavior was rather embarrassing. Participles can be used as attributive adjectives. Barking dogs seldom bite. Like most adjectives, the participle can be used predicative also. Predicative, towards the end. The trip was exhausting. Participles can have comparative and superlative forms also. The children were most excited after going on a picnic. Exercise 3. Identify the participle in each of the following sentences and state whether it is a present or past participle. Also write the grammatical function of each. We were elated by our result. Elated is past participle and it is passive form. Whenever by will be there in the sentence, you can identify it as a passive form. An MP is an elected representative of the people. Elected is past participle and it is attributive adjective. This is really interesting. Interesting is present participle and it is Don't ever accept anything from an unknown man. Now, unknown is past participle and it is attributive adjective. When everyone was so kind to me, I was overwhelmed. Now, overwhelmed is past participle and here it is. He could not walk with his twisted ankle and needed support. Now, twisted is past participle and it is attributive adjective. Listen to the music of the falling rain. Falling is present participle and it is attributive adjective. I was most hurt by her rude behavior. Hurt is past participle and it is passive form. My niece is quite talented. Talented is past participle and it is subject complement. I have never met a more cultured gentleman. Cultured is past participle and other uses of the participle. The participle may be used at the beginning of a participial phrase. We use the participle at the beginning of an adjective phrase which is usually put after the noun it qualifies. Like the girl wearing the red dress is a singer. Okay, we can use it in the beginning of a participial phrase. Beginning like wearing. The red dress is the phrase and it is used in the beginning itself. Wearing. Who is the person standing near the gate? Standing. So that means these phrases are easy to identify. You can see ing or ed ones and from there on it would be the phrase. Our participle can be used as an adverb. We use a participle as an adverb to modify another adjective. What you need is a piping hot bowl of soup. Combine each set of sentences to make one sentence using a participle. The first one has been done for you. The cyclist was overtaken by another. He pedaled harder. So we have to take the participle in the beginning. Overtaken by another. The cyclist pedaled harder. The player caught the ball. He threw it at the wicket. Catching. Participle again in the beginning. Catching the ball, the player threw it at the wicket. The boxer lost the match. He was beaten in the final round. Having beaten in the final round, the boxer lost the match. He is quite old. He should be more responsible. Use consider. He should be more responsible considering that he is quite old. He had decided to resign. He submitted his resignation letter. Having decided to resign, he submitted his resignation letter. We were charmed with the performance. We rewarded the participants. Charmed with the performance, we rewarded the participants. He opened the door, he rushed out. Opening the door, he rushed out. The guard opened the gate, we drove in. The guard, having opened the gate, we drove in. Cinderella left in a hurry. She dropped one of her glass slippers. Dropping one of her glass slippers, Cinderella left in a hurry. Now, you will have seen in some of the sentences we are not using ing and ed in the beginning because it is actually changing the whole sentence, the meaning of it. So, it's not compulsory that everywhere you will be using ing or ed in the beginning. Poonam saw her sister leave. She asked her where she was going. Seeing her sister leave, Poonam asked her where she was going. So homework for today's session is write exercise 1, 2, 3 and 4 in notebook. Thank you and may God bless you.